Southeast Kansas friends, family, firefighters, and first responders gather in Baxter Springs to honor a fallen hero. Details are coming up.
The nation's capital holding several events to remember the country's veterans. I'm Adler Rivera in Arlington, Virginia, with more on those tributes, plus President Biden's announcement regarding those who served overseas.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jordan Abbey. 4 state first responders coming together in Baxter Springs today to honor one of their own after the passing of Baxter Springs firefighter Malachi Brown. KOAM's Mike Mahoney spoke to the Baxter Springs fire chief, and Mike has more.
On Wednesday night, Baxter Springs firefighter Malachi Brown succumbed to the injuries he received battling a mid-October structure fire. On Thursday, representatives from multiple 4 state first responders formed a procession at a burn unit in Springfield to bring Brown back to Baxter Springs, and they had a lot of support along the way.
I want to thank all the agencies that helped us get him home. It was a long trip from Springfield, and all the way from Springfield all the way to Baxter Springs, we had agencies on overpasses with flags standing on the side of the road supporting us.
Brown was brought back to the Durfelt Funeral Home's Baxter Chapel, where friends, family, fellow firefighters, and first responders gathered to say goodbye to a man who sacrificed his life protecting the community he loved.
I'd like to thank all the communities around to help and support us, and I'd like to thank the family and everybody in the community. Please say a prayer tonight for his family and his children.
In Baxter Springs, Kansas, Mike Mahoney, KOAM News.
Baxter Springs Fire Lieutenant Malachi Brown leaves behind a wife and 3 children. A Gravette, Arkansas woman is dead after a crash in southwest Missouri. Highway Patrol says Robin Ford drove off the road on Interstate 49 west of Neosho and hit an embankment. Ford passed away at the scene. No other cars were involved. A Newton County man accused of shooting at deputies pleads guilty. Benjamin Ivy pleaded guilty to unlawful possession of a firearm. 2 other charges were dropped as part of a plea deal. Ivy is sentenced to 7 years in prison.
Southeast Kansas friends, family, firefighters, and first responders gather in Baxter Springs to honor a fallen hero. Details are coming up.
The nation's capital holding several events to remember the country's veterans. I'm Adler Rivera in Arlington, Virginia, with more on those tributes, plus President Biden's announcement regarding those who served overseas.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jordan Abbey. 4 state first responders coming together in Baxter Springs today to honor one of their own after the passing of Baxter Springs firefighter Malachi Brown. KOAM's Mike Mahoney spoke to the Baxter Springs fire chief, and Mike has more.
On Wednesday night, Baxter Springs firefighter Malachi Brown succumbed to the injuries he received battling a mid-October structure fire. On Thursday, representatives from multiple 4 state first responders formed a procession at a burn unit in Springfield to bring Brown back to Baxter Springs, and they had a lot of support along the way.
I want to thank all the agencies that helped us get him home. It was a long trip from Springfield, and all the way from Springfield all the way to Baxter Springs, we had agencies on overpasses with flags standing on the side of the road supporting us.
Brown was brought back to the Durfelt Funeral Home's Baxter Chapel, where friends, family, fellow firefighters, and first responders gathered to say goodbye to a man who sacrificed his life protecting the community he loved.
I'd like to thank all the communities around to help and support us, and I'd like to thank the family and everybody in the community. Please say a prayer tonight for his family and his children.
In Baxter Springs, Kansas, Mike Mahoney, KOAM News.
Baxter Springs Fire Lieutenant Malachi Brown leaves behind a wife and 3 children. A Gravette, Arkansas woman is dead after a crash in southwest Missouri. Highway Patrol says Robin Ford drove off the road on Interstate 49 west of Neosho and hit an embankment. Ford passed away at the scene. No other cars were involved. A Newton County man accused of shooting at deputies pleads guilty. Benjamin Ivy pleaded guilty to unlawful possession of a firearm. 2 other charges were dropped as part of a plea deal. Ivy is sentenced to 7 years in prison. Well, most are noticing it costs more for just about everything these days. The White House is trying to calm fears, though, with promises of relief to come. But Republicans say their plans just aren't working. Fox News correspondent Lauren Blanchard is in D.C. with more.
I don't think we're out of touch. The question is, what can we do about it?
One legislative win in the bag and looking for another, Democrats must now explain how the infrastructure bill the president will sign on Monday will help and why they want more for the climate, education, and healthcare Build Back Better bill as inflation continues to drastically rise.
Most people think that the bill is inflationary because the only thing that most people know about the bill is that it's somewhere between $1.75 trillion and $3.5 trillion of additional government expenditures.
The White House saying the bill will bring down expenses for families with money for childcare so more parents can work.
The Build Back Better bill is the best answer we have to bring those costs down.
What's Joe Biden want to do? Just shower the economy with trillions of dollars and more spending, continue to pay people not to work. That's only going to drive up costs even further.
The chairman of the Federal Reserve has warned it could be well into next summer before there's any relief. President Biden hitting the road in recent days to talk about the benefits in years to come of all that government spending. But there's in-party worry the waited-out approach will hurt Democrats in the midterms.
Quit looking towards some long-term thing. You got to deal with it today because today's politics are bad on inflation for Democrats.
The president needs all 50 Democratic senators to pass his bill. Already, Senator Joe Manchin is criticizing the administration for their handling of rising costs. In Washington, Lauren Blanchard, Fox News.
People across the country today honoring our nation's heroes. McDonald County hosted a Veterans Day celebration in Pineville. The event featured a free dinner, VIP speakers, fireworks as well. There was also a special announcement. Veteran James Tatum was inducted into the Missouri Veterans Hall of Fame.
I think it's a pretty big deal. I mean, nothing like this has ever happened. To put it into perspective, General John Gordon, who was a former Secretary of Homeland Security, and the 33rd President, Harry Truman, are also in this Hall of Fame with Jim, so it's a pretty big deal.
The McDonald County celebration took place in the Pineville Square. Folks in Joplin, though, got a little more hands-on to honor our local veterans. The Joplin Area Habitat for Humanity is honoring a local vet by providing them a place to stay. Habitat today dedicated a new home to Tim P. and his family.
But today, there's nothing in the world that can replace the feeling of having hundreds of people come out to visit you that don't know your first name. Come out to show their appreciation and to say thank you.
And it's deserved. This home is going to be constructed using ICF, or insulating concrete forms. ICFs are a sustainable construction method, by the way. Celebrations and tributes taking place all around the country today, for that matter, honoring Veterans Day. It's not only an important day for our heroes themselves, but for their families as well. In our nation's capital, President Biden attended a historic ceremony at Arlington National Cemetery. Fox's Madeline Rivera has more from Arlington National Cemetery.
The nation's capital took a moment to pause Thursday, with tributes throughout the city to remember those who served and sacrificed.
The single message is, don't ever forget.
In the midst of pain, there is also pride.
I am the proud sister of First Lieutenant Travis Mannion. As you said, he was killed in Iraq on his second tour of duty while pulling to safety two of his wounded teammates.
Ceremonies nationwide from Phoenix to New York City, providing some comfort.
I definitely feel connected to the veteran and military community today more than ever.
The Biden administration marking the day with Action 2, announcing an effort to help veterans who were exposed to burn pits and other contaminants while serving overseas.
We're going to work with Congress, Republicans and Democrats together to make sure our veterans receive the world-class benefits that they've earned.
Gratitude each and every day.
We are drawn together this morning to affirm our loyalty and our love for them.
This year marks the centennial commemoration of the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. For the first time in nearly 100 years, and for 2 days only this week, members of the public could walk up to the tomb and lay flowers to remember not only the 3 unknowns buried there, but every unknown or missing service member who gave their all. At Arlington National Cemetery, Madeline Rivera, Fox News.
And KOM News at 9 on Fox 14 takes this time on Veterans Day to honor another four-state hero. Jamie Jones served in the Army National Guard from 1991 to 2014. Native of Moran, Kansas, Jones was stationed in Panama, Belize, Germany, and Iraq. We are proud to thank and salute senior mechanic Jamie Jones, tonight's four-state hero. Doug Katie's next with a complete look at the forecast. A bit later in sports, going to hear from the Pitt State Gorillas as they prepare for Saturday's season finale against Fort Hays State.
Well, it definitely turned out to be a cooler day for us today, but we had quite a bit of sunshine as temperatures did warm up into the upper 50s for highs instead of 60s and 70s like we have seen over the past few days. But pretty calm right now. Nice shot. Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Of course, Indigo is just outside of Seneca, Missouri, right on the west side of the town. But it looks pretty good out there for us right now. Chilly temperatures have been cooling down anywhere from 43 in Nevada, 45 in Anderson, Neosho 45, 42 in Miami. And then we can head to Parsons at 43, Pittsburgh, much of the same. We've had these northwesterly winds, kind of breezy for us today. They've diminished a little bit, but they're going to pick right back up as another cold front rolls in for us a little bit later on tonight, giving us some scattered showers. Outside right now, we have partly cloudy skies. Humidity still fairly low at about 50%. But we do have some clouds increasing in our western counties. This is our next little wave. It's a very weak, fast-moving wave, but it's dropping in. It has some light showers that are going to push in, especially the southern half of the region as we go through the overnight hours tonight. And these little weak waves are rotating around this big area of low pressure, the main system that gave us severe weather last night. And then right behind it, we have another wave, which will affect us by the time we head into Sunday morning. So let's go ahead and break it down. As we go through the overnight hours, clouds thicken. So by midnight, we'll have cloudy skies. Showers start to work into our western and southern counties. I do think Pittsburgh, Joplin will get some rain. Heaviest will be northeastern Oklahoma, extreme southwestern parts of Missouri. No thunderstorms, and overall the rain's going to be fairly light, under a couple tenths of an inch as it rotates through. By the time you get up in the morning, it's gone. We'll clear out. We'll have sunshine in the morning, and then clouds will rotate back in as we head into the afternoon hours. Plus, it's going to be cold. Our temperatures are going to struggle to warm up. 41 to start, 45 by noon. High temp of only 48. Northwesterly winds at about 10 to 20, so still a little bit on the breezy side. We clear out tomorrow night, and we bottom out. Upper 20s for overnight lows, so a pretty good freeze by Saturday morning. Saturday looks pretty good. Still chilly. We're only going to be into lower 50s, but at least we get some sunshine across the region. Then here comes that next wave Sunday morning, which could give us a random shower or a few sprinkles. And again, northerly winds kind of pick up behind that front as well. It does get better. We got to wait until really Monday. Winds go back to the south. We start to warm up. In fact, we're going to be into the 70s by the time Tuesday rolls around. Next system in on Wednesday, showers, thunderstorms once again, then cooling right back down late next week. We're at that time of the year. The jet stream is getting stronger. That means bigger temperature swings. 48 tomorrow, 52 Saturday, 55 on Sunday, 74 on Tuesday. Rain by next Wednesday. Jordan?
All right, Doug, thanks so much. Coming up, more pushback.
More mandates and more lawsuits as officials ramp up their push to get Americans vaccinated. I'm Mike Emanuel in Washington. I've got the details coming up.
Beeps, hums, and other noises coming from everyday appliances could be a cause of anxiety for man's best friend in particular, but all pets really. According to a new study published in the journal Frontiers in Veterinary Science, common noises in your home may be giving your dog anxiety. Sounds from appliances like vacuums, smoke alarms, microwaves, and more could all be adding stress to your furry friend's life. So experts urge owners to look out for common signs of anxiety like cringing, trembling, running away for dogs. Owners should also keep up on replacing those batteries and appliances before they beep and guide pets away from a noisy room. Lawmakers and business leaders are intensifying their opposition to a slew of vaccine mandates coming from federal officials. Fox News Chief Washington correspondent Mike Emanuel has more from D.C.
The White House is moving full steam ahead with a number of vaccine mandates, and the legal challenges are mounting quickly. At least 10 states are now suing over nationwide vaccine requirements for healthcare workers. and a coalition of business and transportation groups, including the National Retail Federation and the American Trucking Association, filed a lawsuit Wednesday aimed at blocking the mandate for all businesses with 100 employees or more. That mandate is also being challenged by an alliance of 11 states who claim the feds are overstepping their authority. But health officials say they're ready to defend the new rules in court.
People being vaccinated or along the lines of the OSHA rule, being tested a minimum of once a week is really important for workplace safety, for our economy.
And some lawsuits have already made their way into courtrooms. In Arizona, a judge turned down a request to stop the mandate for federal workers and contractors from going into effect next month.
The Attorney General's office may continue to make noise about filing something here, but I don't think even they expect to prevail.
Meanwhile, a different kind of legal challenge is brewing. The NIH and Moderna at odds over who should get credit for developing the mRNA vaccine. And with billions of dollars potentially at stake, Moderna says it's ready to fight.
We have been working on this technology platform for 10 years. This was not our first, but our 10th vaccine.
Moderna projects it will sell up to $18 billion worth of vaccines in 2021. In Washington, Mike Emanuel, Fox News.
Next, the upcoming travel pinch.
More people are expected to hit the road this Thanksgiving, but at what cost? I'm Ashley Strohmeyer with a look at how this year's holiday travel season could be one of the most expensive. Coming up.
A nail gun company is recalling one of its products. Hart Consumer Products is recalling the Hart 18-gauge 2-inch brad nailers, citing a potential risk of injury. According to the report, the contact sensor on the gun can malfunction, preemptively discharging a nail. Thankfully, no injuries have been reported. Anyway, customers are being urged to return the nail gun to the Walmart it was purchased at for a full refund. Well, turkey stuffing and cranberry sauce aren't the only things getting more expensive. The cost of travel this Thanksgiving also skyrocketing. Fox News correspondent Ashley Strohmeyer has more on how the surge in gas prices and flights are putting a pinch on millions of Americans.
AAA predicts 53.4 million Americans will take to the roads and sky this Thanksgiving, down by 5% from 2019. A hopeful sign holiday travel numbers are approaching pre-pandemic levels as the vaccine rollout continues.
We know that vaccination helps to decrease community transmission and protect those who are most vulnerable.
But while the shots are helping people feel safer to gather around the table this Thanksgiving, those planning to visit their families by car are starting to feel the pinch from the rising gas prices.
We just bought a hybrid for that reason.
At $3.42, the average price of gas is now at a 7-year high, with AAA saying it costs people roughly $20 more every time they fill up their tank.
We need gas, we need cheap gas.
Yeah. How much is it here?
I didn't look, but I know it's cheap. We just know it's cheaper than anywhere else.
$3.95, that's cheap. Huh?
Yeah, that's still too much.
It's like
$90 to fill up my tank.
The cost of flying is also starting to soar as airlines start seeing more ticket sales. According to analytics company AirDNA, the number of flight bookings for the week of Thanksgiving was more than 35% higher last month than at the same point 2 years ago.
Like a year ago, the planes would be about 30%, 40%, 50% full. But now, I came in from Dallas, it was 100% capacity.
The availability of flights and rental cars are only expected to dwindle the closer we get to Thanksgiving. Travel experts say the best way to avoid stress is by booking in advance. Ashley Strohmeyer, Fox News.
Coming up, if you've ever wanted some Arby's curly fries while enjoying some vodka, good gosh, producer Peyton, who wrote this tease. This fast food giant has you covered. All right, fast food giant Arby's releasing 2 limited edition alcoholic drinks, and in my opinion, thank gosh they're limited. Arby's Curly Fry Vodka and Arby's Crinkle Fry Vodka. Officials say both vodkas taste like their namesake fries. Curly Fry Vodka includes cayenne, onion, and garlic, while the Crinkle Fry Vodka is produced with kosher salt and sugar. The 80-proof potato-based liquor is going to make its debut on November 18th in a handful of states, including California, Florida, West Virginia. Price tag for a bottle, about $60. Yeah, it's unique. I just can't see it happening. I mean, my taste buds, It's so awkward, you know? So awkward. All right, 30 more minutes, news, weather, and sports coming away. You're going to learn about a 15-year-old power lifter in Northeast Oklahoma who has already set 4 world records. Also, ground is broke for a new facility that's going to help veterans deal with trauma. An Oklahoma teenager has been breaking records since she was 8 years old. She's already made a name for herself locally. Now she's taking it a step further and making herself known across this great country. KOAM's Bronte Sorosky has more on Commerce's Powerhouse Princess.
At 118 pounds, 15-year-old Demaya Smith can already deadlift up to 285 pounds. It's how she earned her nickname, the Powerhouse Princess.
I think the name Powerhouse Princess suits me really just because I do like the glam, and even though I'm out on the mat rolling, I still have makeup on. I really like to dress up, so I feel like I'm a powerhouse and a princess. It fits.
Demaya's mom always knew there was something special about her.
She's going to be a spitfire at something. We just didn't know what. We started her with traditional sports, gymnastics, basketball, softball, and she just wasn't advancing the way that I thought that she should. And then powerlifting fell into our lap.
Demaya's talents recently landed her a spot on the reality TV show All Round Champion, where she competed alongside other top athletes in a variety of sports.
I happened to get on All Round Champion, and it was a crazy experience. It was so amazing. We did so many different sports, and I was learning like how to fence and play hockey. It was crazy, and I would not change it for the world.
She trains at her parents' gym, Relentless Training Center.
Relentless was a vision that we had for our daughter that was brewing that we really didn't even know where we were taking it. We just knew that we needed to get our daughter the best training possible.
Even after setting world records, Demaya says she's only getting started.
Powerlifting, I'll never stop lifting in general, but I don't think I'll have very many more competitions outside of high school. With MMA, I want to take that as far as I can and hopefully go to the UFC.
In Commerce, Bronte Sorotsky, KUAM News.
Tomorrow night, Relentless Training Center is going to be hosting a free women's self-defense seminar open to the public. In Fort Scott, Kansas, American Legion Post 25 hosted a Veterans Day parade. All area veterans were welcome to participate. The parade was led by American Legion riders on their motorcycles, as we saw earlier, with other people in their vehicles. The parade passed by Fort Scott schools, where students were outside cheering them on.
The civilians who have not served, I believe, certainly understand the sacrifices of those thousands of veterans who paid the ultimate sacrifice and did not come home.
Parade started at Memorial Hall and ended at the Fort Scott National Cemetery with a Veterans Day ceremony. Pittsburgh State also hosted a Veterans Day ceremony. People from the community, including 6th graders from Pittsburgh Community Middle School and St. Mary's Colgan, gathered at the PSU Veterans Memorial. The event's keynote speaker was Pittsburgh Fire Chief Dennis Riley, a U.S. Army veteran who was at Ground Zero on 9/11.
It's the sacrifice that not only the soldiers, but what the families have to go through in order to serve the country. It takes not only the service members, but the families to take care of things here at home.
This was the first in-person ceremony at the memorial since 2019. An organization called Sheepdog Impact Assistance today broke ground on a facility that's going to provide training to veterans and first responders. The 50-acre plot of land in Pineville, Missouri is going to be the site of the Warrior Path training facility. Now, PATH stands for Progressive and Alternative Training for Healing Heroes. That training teaches veterans tools to deal with trauma.
But then to be able to get out and hunt, fish, hike, camp, cave explore, razor ride, four-wheel, archery, labyrinth walk, you name it. Just the blessing of being able to get out and explore the nature and the blessing that is this ranch.
The group also dedicated lodges to 2 area veterans, U.S. Marine Lance Corporal Anthony Darb, who was killed in the line of duty, and Senior Navy Chief Joseph Engelman. A rare benefit of higher inflation, your tax bill might be lower for this year. The Internal Revenue Service has raised tax brackets by about 3% from 2021. Now, for this year's taxes, a married couple won't need to pay the top 37% tax rate unless they make $647,850. For individuals at top bracket starts at $539,900. The change is going to take place automatically. Married couples can claim the standard deduction if they make $25,900, up from $25,100 last year. And the maximum amount you can set aside in a healthcare flexible spending account went up $100 from $2,750 to $2,850. Federal judge approved a $626 million settlement for people affected by the water crisis in Flint, Michigan. It's meant to compensate the tens of thousands of people impacted by lead exposure and other contaminants from the city's drinking water. According to court documents, the settlement is going to establish a victims' compensation fund to pay residents directly. Nearly 80% of the money will go to those who were younger than 18 at the time of this crisis. The defense rests in the Kyle Rittenhouse trial after calling 3 more witnesses to the stand. Today's testimony leading to another tense exchange between the judge and prosecutors. Fox News correspondent Garrett Tenney explains.
We would rest.
Defense attorneys calling their final witnesses in the homicide trial of Kyle Rittenhouse. Self-defense and video expert Dr. John Black taking the stand today. The judge ruled prior to trial Black could testify about the timing of events but not speak to whether Rittenhouse acted in self-defense. At one point, prosecutors objected to today's testimony, arguing questions Black was asked were beyond the scope of what the court ruled permissible. The judge allowed the testimony, prompting another heated exchange with prosecutors.
Yesterday, as I said, I was under the court's ire.
I was talking yesterday about the Constitution of the United States and how the Supreme Court has interpreted it for 50 years.
The defense continued with its questioning, showing slow-motion video of the shootings to the jury. Dr. Black says the total time between Rittenhouse yelling "friendly, friendly" and his surrender to police after the shootings was 2 minutes and 55 seconds.
Video has absolute benefit to an analyst to help us understand what was objectively occurring.
Also taking the stand, Drew Hernandez, a YouTuber and political commentator who shot video of the unrest in Kenosha last year.
Did you see Mr. Rittenhouse on the 25th?
Yes, and that at that point, Kyle Rittenhouse came out of car source 2 and he attempted to de-escalate the situation.
The judge said today it would be ideal to have closing arguments tomorrow. In Kenosha, Wisconsin, I'm Garrett Tenney, Fox News.
A bit later, more legal action in the shooting death on a movie set.
Alec Baldwin facing his first lawsuit following last month's deadly movie shooting incident. I'm Kevin Cork with more on that story straight ahead.
Well, it definitely turned out to be a cooler day for us today, but we had quite a bit of sunshine as temperatures did warm up into the upper 50s for highs instead of 60s and 70s like we have seen over the past few days. But pretty calm right now. Nice shot. Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Of course, Indigo is just outside of Seneca, Missouri, right on the west side of the town. But it looks pretty good out there for us right now. Chilly temperatures have been cooling down anywhere from 43 in Nevada, 45 in Anderson, Neosho 45, 42 in Miami. Then we can head to Parsons at 43, Pittsburgh, much of the same. We've had these northwesterly winds, kind of breezy for us today. They've diminished a little bit, but they're going to pick right back up as another cold front rolls in for us a little bit later on tonight, giving us some scattered showers. Outside right now, we have partly cloudy skies. Humidity still fairly low at about 50%, but we do have some clouds increasing in our western counties. This is our next little wave. It's a very weak, fast-moving wave, but it's dropping in. It has some light showers that are going to push in, especially the southern half of the region as we go through the overnight hours tonight. And these little weak waves are rotating around this big area of low pressure, the main system that gave us severe weather last night. And then right behind it, we have another wave, which will affect us by the time we head into Sunday morning. So let's go ahead and break it down. As we go through the overnight hours, clouds thicken. So by midnight, we'll have cloudy skies. Showers start to work into our western and southern counties. I do think Pittsburgh, Joplin will get some rain. Heaviest will be northeastern Oklahoma, extreme southwestern parts of Missouri. No thunderstorms, and overall the rain's going to be fairly light, under a couple tenths of an inch as it rotates through. By the time you get up in the morning, it's gone. We'll clear out. We'll have sunshine in the morning, and then clouds will rotate back in as we head into the afternoon hours. Plus, it's going to be cold. Our temperatures are going to struggle to warm up. 41 to start, 45 by noon. High temp of only 48 northwesterly winds at about 10 to 20, so still a little bit on the breezy side. We clear out tomorrow night, and we bottom out, upper 20s for overnight lows, so a pretty good freeze by Saturday morning. Saturday looks pretty good. Still chilly. We're only going to be into lower 50s, but at least we get some sunshine across the region. Then here comes that next wave Sunday morning, which could give us a random shower or a few sprinkles. And again, northerly winds kind of pick up behind that front as well. It does get better. We got to wait until really Monday. Winds go back to the south. We start to warm up. In fact, we're going to be into the 70s by the time Tuesday rolls around. Next system in on Wednesday, showers, thunderstorms once again, then cooling right back down late next week. We're at that time of the year. Jet stream is getting stronger. That means bigger temperature swings. 48 tomorrow, 52 Saturday, 55 on Sunday, 74 on Tuesday. Rain by next Wednesday. Jordan?
This week is the final week of the season for the Pittsburgh State Gorillas. Pitt State hits the road on Saturday in Week 11, facing Fort Hays State. Now the Tigers fighting for a winning record heading into the weekend at 5-5, while the Gorillas are 7-3. That's a bit of a long bus ride out to Hays, but the team says that's just more time to be together and be around the 15 seniors who will play their final game Saturday afternoon.
It's kind of one of those bittersweet things. Like, it's going to be a long, long bus trip there and back, but you know that way back that you're going to cherish all those extra hours you get from that ride with those guys, because it'll be the last one you get.
I think it'll be a great opportunity for our guys one last time to be together, and you know, probably not any better timing than what we could have right now, just to get on the road and spend that time together and let those guys enjoy, you know, what it's all about and the process that goes into these types of football games and into a regular season.
This season has already been a historic one for the McDonald County football team. Tomorrow night they have a chance to add to that and win their first district title. Danny Terzer has the story.
It's mid-November, and the McDonald County Mustangs are still at work.
It kind of hits you this week after the time change. You're practicing under the lights, and that's kind of when it hits you that you know, we're playing a long ways into this season, and you know, we haven't really had time to sit and think about what we've accomplished up to this point.
The Mustangs are one win away from the school's first district championship.
We definitely want to be known as the first team to win a district championship, and I mean, we just got to play like we have one more guaranteed, and we just got to put it all out there.
I don't think it's really hit a lot of us seniors yet, because, you know, we're still in it. You know, we're still striving to go farther, and, you know, we just want to go as long as we can, keep playing as long as we can.
The final team in their way is West Plains.
We've got to win the physical battle, especially in the trenches. That's where we've kind of made our focus each and every week, and this week's going to be no different. It's a football game like the rest of the year's been, and the most physical team is probably going to walk off the field with a win.
The Mustangs faced a rigorous Big 8 schedule, but they're 10-1 and prepared to keep going.
That regular season schedule, that conference schedule, just prepares you for playoff play, and you know, it's a tough week each and every week, and you've got to show up. If you don't bring your A game every week in our conference, you've got a chance to get beat, and so it really prepares you for what's ahead.
They've come a long way, but the Mustangs are still hungry for more.
We're pleased, but we're not satisfied yet. You know, we definitely set some big goals at the beginning of this year, and you know, we're getting a chance to accomplish them.
We ain't done. Like, we're going to go try to finish this thing.
At McDonald County High School, Danny Terzer, KOAM Sports.
McDonald County's game against West Plains will kick off at 7 p.m. tomorrow night. Well, Fort Scott Community College announced the termination of its football program on Monday night. The Greyhounds played their final game of the season just one day earlier, a 63-2 loss to Independence in the Jayhawk Conference playoffs. And the Fort Scott program has been around for nearly 100 years, but they've struggled a little bit the last few. The team is 3-19 in their last 22 games. We caught up with Fort Scott Community College Athletic Director Tom Havron today to talk about what's next for the 91 football players on campus and what it's been like since the announcement came 3 days ago.
It's been very difficult. It was an extremely emotional decision to have to make. I think that the football players and the coaches themselves have been very excellent throughout the process, trying to just move on and figure out what's next for them in their athletic, academic, and professional careers. We have reached out to every single junior college in the Jayhawk Conference and all the athletic directors, and I'm coordinating visits with them to come on campus and recruit our kids, try to find them the next spot.
And that's a look at sports. We're back with more news after the break.
Alec Baldwin facing his first lawsuit after last month's deadly shooting incident on the set of his movie Rust. As Fox News correspondent Kevin Cork explains, this lawsuit may not be the last.
The head of lighting for the movie Rust filing the first known lawsuit against Alec Baldwin and other production officials Wednesday. Serge Svetnoy was on set during Baldwin's deadly prop gun incident last month and alleges proper safety protocols were not followed.
The bullet that killed Helena Hutchins and injured Joel Souza passed by Mr. Svetnoy's face.
After avoiding the near-death experience, Svetnoy rushed to Hutchins' side.
I tried to save her life.
He held her in his arms, blood on his hands.
Lawyers for Svetnoy say he now suffers from severe, lifelong emotional distress and claims Baldwin is partially responsible.
He took a gun, loaded with a bullet, pointed it at human beings and pulled the trigger. That conduct is reckless.
Besides Baldwin, roughly 24 defendants are also named in the lawsuit, including the assistant director who provided Baldwin with the gun and the armorer in charge of overseeing the film's weapons. This comes as Lane Looper, the film's former head of the camera department, claims that movie officials cut safety corners to lower costs, resulting in him fearing for his life.
I've never felt more unsafe on set.
The film's director said he heard the gun was safe to use during the rehearsal. Lawyers representing the armorer say they believe that someone put a live round in the gun on purpose to frame her. I'm Kevin Cork, Fox News.
All right, going to wrap up the night by getting a recap of the CMA Awards. 55th Annual CMA Awards returned with a live audience, bringing fans and artists back together in Nashville, while also bringing surprise wins, first-time wins, powerful moments. Here's Fox's Ashley Dvorkin.
Mr. Luke Combs.
Country music's biggest night gave its biggest award, Entertainer of the Year, to a first-time winner in the category, Luke Combs. Chris Stapleton has 6 new trophies thanks to winning Single and Song of the Year, Album of the Year, and Male Vocalist of the Year.
After 10 years of being here, living in my car, living in the trailer, working every job, this is amazing.
Jimmy Allen was named New Artist of the Year, Carly Pearce won Female Vocalist of the Year, Old Dominion took Group, and Brothers Osborne won for Duo.
I always truthfully felt like it would never be possible because of my sexuality to be here.
The duo also performed Younger Me, starting with a message from TJ, who came out as gay earlier this year. I found my freedom. Mickey Guyton, Brittany Spencer, and Madeline Edwards delivered a powerful performance of Love My Hair, introduced by Faith Fenity, a black student who inspired the song after being sent home from school told her braids violated policy. There were 20 performances total, including many collaborations. Star of stage and screen Jennifer Hudson of Respect sang a tribute to Aretha Franklin, joined by Stapleton.
Fans! We have fans!
The 55th Annual CMA Awards was hosted by Luke Bryan. And there was another celebrity appearance of note, the leads of country music drama Monarch, Susan Sarandon and Trace Atkins.
Yeah.
Oh, go on, Susan.
Do you really want me to?
Seriously, please, say more stuff about me.
We can look forward to more with them when that show premieres on Fox this January. In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
That guy has a deep voice. That's our time for tonight. Thanks for joining us. Going to leave you with video of a baby elephant at the Fort Worth Zoo. Be safe. Do this all again tomorrow. See you then.